You can't have it on the.
I'm in charge.
You guys are out of here by 8. I'll be out here by like
That's-
7:30.
Liz is in charge of that.
Zoom, that's
I
Zoom.
moved to June.
I'm
just
getting
getting
paid.
Last of the month have only been out.
We will have to visit member.
Then it's something to Zoom.
Oh, I guess I don't have the meeting room.
It's the permanent one now.
I know,
No.
it's not working for some reason.
Oh,
Maybe it's from 22. Oh, yeah, it's from February 2019.
I don't want to join the computer audio, so how do I? There we go. Just continue.
Got it. Thanks.
Small wins. It's the small victories.
Go to the website and the
Oh,
camera.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I put it right from the camera.
There.
Then you dedicate it to the right one. So, all right. I don't know if I have it in this phone or not.
Okay, I get it. Oh, I'll just,
I don't have it in this phone.
you know, man called them. They were like, yeah, respond. Okay.
He gets. There's certain days that he's in office. So,
Is it Scatura?
no, it's SCT computers.
His last name.
I can give you the number to actual
I mean, I have them Google, so I did call there.
Because I don't know this person. But it's a 6 and 7 day.
Someone's going
there we go. We ready?
I'm streaming, having a recording going, but I'm trying to.
I haven't got the recording going, but I'm trying to put it on the Facebook right now.
You
You
can
can
try
try
it.
it. I'll get it on Facebook.
I'd like to call the August Town Hector Audit meeting to order. Please rise while we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're good at working together, apparently.
Right.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for July 8th, 2025.
I'll second.
For the first and second, any questions or comments about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we're gonna move on to budget journal entries. We only have 2 this month. One, we need, our attorney contractual line is short, so we're gonna transfer $47.50 from A 1990.4 contingency to A 1420.4, the attorney contractual line. And the second one is our first payment toward services for the Smith Park office, the renovation that we're gonna be doing there, and this is for the contract for the design firm that we signed back in April. And we're gonna transfer $19,250 from A 599 fund balance to A 8097.4, the LWRP grant / Smith Park grant line. And those are our 2 budget amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendments.
The second motion?
First and second, any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Thank you. Now we need to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay the bills as audited.
A second.
First and second, approving the bills as audited. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
Gonna move on. We have our Scotty County legislator to give us some updates.
I'll try, make it quick. Thank you, Justin. I know the big question is sales tax. sales tax right now in July, we're 0.31% of budget, which means we're the plus, we're not 1% yet. Year to date, we're 0.93%, so we're still not at 1% of all budget. But if we hold our own, our budget and look at the last year, so you'd be looking at a good end result. That's what I saw last weekend. August ought to be a good one. There's a lot of people moving around. Some of the big questions on Medicaid, you got a report back from the state, and right now, the Office of the Aging and Public Health are gonna, no changes, they're gonna be getting what they have been the last 3 or 4 years, which is a very good plus for us to take care of the aging people. We haven't heard anything on the community service and DSS. We're pretty sure they're gonna hit DSS pretty hard, but until we see, we don't know. But what we're really worried about is the next few years, what we do. And, you know, we're already starting to cut our budgets. I know whenever they have somebody retire, in some instances, they're not replaced. Like my wife's mom, and I'm not going to replace her, go down to somebody else, which is logical, city plan. The last thing is the wastewater. I've been questioned on that quite a bit lately, so I'll give you a quick update. We have paid $35,000 out of the 60 so far, we're on 25. They've been asking for the money. I won't give them a cent. Justin backs me up 100% on this until they show us the final report.
Which I think we got that in our email this afternoon.
Did we? I missed it.
Yeah.
So then we'll start working and getting that other 25%. But what we want to do, the final report, they gotta give us a condensed figure to put on the internet. I can't put 500 or some pages out there on the internet. What I'd like to do is just get a nice summary so everybody knows what we're looking at. Like I know the village of Burdette, the figure, they've held off doing Hector, but they said the village of Burdette should do it. And I said, well, there's no cost. And they scared the death out of me when they give me the cost. I'm not ready to give it. They said $55 a month plus $460,065 a year in maintenance cost. And I can't take that to a retired person and ask them to pay. I mean, that's just too outrageous. So it's on hold right now.
For clarity, that's per customer cost?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, and that's not even talking to the village of Watkins Glen where we go up. You know, and that's not even talking to the village of price and breaking sure like that. You know, there's okay for the prices out there. It's okay to have your contracts. Not really, so we can price it. So we know how that's going to work. So I'm very concerned about that aspect. Because if we give them a 5-10 year contract, our prices goes up and there goes to $4,000 again, not higher. And I know they're having some problems with the town of Dix, right now with the same problem. And they're in debate over that. Other than that, any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Going to move on to the public comment period. It is now 7:09 and we're going to open for a 10-minute public comment. If you do have something to say, just please ask. Please share your name and where you live. Anybody like to make a comment? Anybody on the internet, Liz, that you can see?
I don't see any comments here.
All right, hearing no public comment, we're going to close it at 7:09 p.m. And we are going to move on to the Sustainability Committee, and we'll get them get started.
Thank you. I wanted to talk mostly about proposed water quality forum that we would like to have for the town of Hector. It would be held on October and take it's the 15th. We would bill it as tools for homeowners and businesses to protect their waters. We're hoping this might be the first of many water quality forums for Hector. And this forum would offer practical guidance on septic system construction and maintenance, grants for lakefront septic systems, floodplain building regulations, other state regulations that apply to construction, and applying for permits. The speakers we have lined up are Jason Sandobianco, our code enforcement officer, and Daryl Sturgis with Schuyler County Watershed Department. We're asking for a resolution for the town board to approve this, so we can then proceed with organizing, getting the venue, and advertising.
I make the motion to approve the water quality forum for homeowners at October 15th at 8 p.m. And where will it be held?
They back to fire company, but I have
TBD.
to ask my cat, so.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Are there any more questions or comments about this?
We talked about it last month that we would stream it on the town's Zoom. I don't know if I need to put that in the, did approve it last month, but if necessary, I'll put it in the motion as well.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of authorizing the water quality forum? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. There you go. You're on.
And as far as the Hector Homegrown campaign, we did post it on Facebook looking for local interest from local vendors. I don't think we had a ton of interest, so we'll do some lateral thinking and figure out another way to approach this. And we'll keep it posted. So, go ahead. That was all I had.
I'd happily work with you on some ideas for providing the Hector Homegrown campaign.
Yeah.
Scott went home sick this afternoon, and I excused him from this evening's meeting. You can see he did submit a report. I don't know if the deputy has anything he wants to add. We were discussing earlier, I know Scott said that the paving in Beloit looked like it was going to be October. Do you have a date for MEC?
I'm only about both are. We only see me once in this last week, so.
Okay. And then there was also the same people that are doing Beloit are going to be doing the tunnel in Burdette, correct?
As far as I know, Jimmy hasn't come to a definite answer on that yet.
Okay. The other thing, Scott and I were talking this morning, he was pleased that the weather, the way it's been, that they've been working on making sand and it's been going definitely well because it's been so dry and you're going to probably be done this coming week. Is that correct?
That is unfortunately works.
Which will puts you in a good spot though to
You usually got about 4,000 they've already just over.
The other thing that's not on here that has happened is on, yesterday, our new backhoe that's being jointly purchased between the highway department and the water department was delivered. So that is in the highway department. As soon as paperwork comes in and we can get it insured, we will start using it.
You guys should have parked it out front next to the fire truck. It would have been like double show and tell. Next month.
We have insurance on it.
Yeah, you can't park it in the parking lot. Like crazy.
We have a highway committee meeting next Thursday,
Next Thursday, yeah.
not this Thursday, next Thursday. Good to see you.
Wow.
Next. That's good. Unfortunately, the highway mechanic that we hired earlier this year has resigned and gone back to his former employer. So we are once again looking for a full-time highway mechanic here in our highway garage. So if anybody knows anybody who's interested or looking for a job, you have to apply through civil service.
It's listed on the county website.
Yeah, it is up and listed. And we
It's on
are,
our website, it's been on the Facebook page.
Justin, can we do the highway committee a different? I mean, somehow got off my market schedules.
yeah, we had to
I'll
change it.
I'll be at market a week from Thursday. We could arrange it by some other
Yeah,
method.
yeah, I'm open to that. We can,
Since Scott's not here, but
since Scott's not here, we'll get together and we'll figure it a day or we'll make it happen.
okay.
Smith Park. You're
Good.
Yep.
Okay, well, we were full for NASCAR weekend this past weekend, so that was nice. Our t-shirts were delivered finally. They are selling in the office for $15 a shirt. So those are up and going. Our campsite markers have been ordered. We're waiting on those for arrival. So that's another thing we're waiting on. 2 quotes for the shed at the beach. I have one from Empire and one from Heritage.
Backyard outfitters?
Hmm?
Backyard outfitters? Is that
Yes.
Empire?
Yep, that's Empire.
So one thing after the last board meeting, quite a number of people spoke up and said, hey, you should probably go a little bit larger if you're gonna do this. So we re-quoted, I don't know, based on 12 by 14. And that's why we have new quotes and new discussion this time versus last time.
What size was it last time?
Like,
8 by 8 or so, 8 by 10 by
It was
8.
like 8 by 12 or something like that.
And this is not 12 by 14.
12 by 14, yeah, it's a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got the new lifeguard chairs and the equipment for lifeguards and everything that'll be stored in the shed, so.
Mm-hmm. You think you're ever gonna regret having more space?
No.
You'll always fill it.
And we have room where we are gonna be placing it, should fit right into that, any problem.
So we allowed 2 or we need 3?
it says 2 quotes.
Yeah, it does take 2 quotes for this.
2 written quotes.
I can grab mine. But
No, I got it right here. Alright, so from,
Yeah, I can make the motion.
yeah, from 0 to 5,000, it's 2 oral written quotes. From 5,001 to 10, it's an oral RFP or 2 oral or written quotes. So 2 quotes is still good.
Yeah, I'll make the motion then to direct the supervisor or sixth park manager to sign the contract.
The supervisor.
How about to accept the shed quote and authorize the park manager to,
For back
Place
to
the order.
backyard outfitters for $5,000.
And $229.72 for a 12 by 14 shed.
I'll second that.
and authorize park manager to order.
I think that's what she said.
Do you get to choose what color?
It's all good.
It's all
Green.
Great
So it
style.
blends right in the,
Hunter green metal, yeah,
with the foliage. That's good.
yeah.
Huh. Nice.
We'll actually be able to start putting things away.
Yeah.
And we have a first and a second.
I didn't hear a second.
Rebecca.
Yeah, sorry.
Rebecca, thank you.
Further questions and comments about the shed purchase?
Are we in with the free delivery mileage? 30 miles from,
We're,
Right.
not quite, it was something, it's nominal though, something. I can't remember what it's saying there, I can't tell my reading.
I didn't say anything about delivery, but it says within 30 miles, it's free.
Yeah, and we're like 40 miles, so it was like 10 miles of paid, it ends up being, I can't remember what it was.
Trips over 30 miles are subject to a $4 per mile or $5 per mile or $6 charge one way.
So it's 14,
Those are the different sizes.
No, it is. I remember
Travel
reading it.
wide.
yeah, so it's $4
Oh,
a
right,
mile.
right.
So
So then $5.
Oh, right.
$50 again.
So then should I add the $50?
That was my question.
Yeah,
There's no delivery
fee.
charge. Are they gonna deliver it for that price, or is it gonna add a delivery charge
No,
in
we're
there?
gonna add it.
So we gotta, that was my question. I
Okay.
wasn't disputing the fact, but
And
I
then-
just wanted to be right.
I would amend my motion to add the $50 delivery charge.
Well, we don't know if it's exactly 50 though, so could we say
Up to 100.
something like it's 6,912, could we say like up to 7,000?
No.
That's
Quote.
wrong quote.
Oh, wait, the wrong one.
5,229.70.
Yeah, so just round it up to 5.3, or I don't know what it was, but.
I'd say within $100 for the delivery.
That would be fine with me to change the motion. To amend the motion to reflect that.
Most of those are into $100.
That would be up to 100.
All right, so the motion is to approve this quote and an additional charge of up to $100 for delivery.
Aye.
Any further questions or comments? And if there are none, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that motion carries.
Okay, we are currently working on a website revamp. They're just kind of redoing the website, making it a little more user friendly. So that's one other thing we're working on.
Can I say a quick question?
Yeah,
And they're making sure it's mobile friendly. Like I'll look at it on mobile phone.
I would assume, yes.
Yes, they are. It already is mobile friendly.
Okay.
It's Squarespace, so
Okay.
it's still Squarespace. He's just changing the template to a different template than the one we have. And it's not really gonna change all that much. The look is gonna change because the color and background is changing, but other than that, it's not gonna change so much. But it's already mobile friendly.
Great.
We're still working on site 33, that wet spot around there. Following is extensive discussion and visual inspection, the following recommendations were made. Install curtain drains above and below the drain field to prevent overloading from groundwater and surface runoff. Use well draining material to fill in the lower areas, taking care not to over compact it. Daryl from the Scott County Watershed offered to visit the highway pits to help assess and select the best material for that. And consider relocating campers to a neighboring site later this summer to allow drainage work to be completed in late summer or early fall. So,
Excellent, so we're moving forward and have a plan.
yes. Yep.
Very good. Jason?
Who's doing the work?
So, yeah, we met last week and did a walkthrough. There have been several die tests completed on the system. Both yielded no results in the water there. Daryl, the Skyler County Watershed Inspector, came on site. He didn't, his professional opinion is that it's not because the septic system is in failure. We drove around, there's a considerable amount of drain tile throughout the park from when it was farmed. Like if you go up to the boat launch overflow, there's no ceramic drain tile that run into a ditch, and most likely it's throughout the area. And based on his walkthrough, like Mallory said, the best solution to keep water from going in there and overloading and causing premature failure is to put a curtain drain above and below the drain field. Daryl said, that if the septic was in failure, you'd smell it, you'd see a lot more signs of contamination on the surface. You can't just do a surface water test because it's most likely going to test positive because whenever there's warm-blooded animals around, there's going to be coliform present. So but based on those inspections, we've been going through this for about 2 years now, just reevaluating. And I think at this point, the best recommendations are as Mallory stated there, to go forward. Jason Bond said he'd be able to do some of the work. We may want to have the next park committee meeting, talk with him, see if there's any additional support he needs, whether it's getting Zach or Dave Bailey or another excavator, and to assist with that, or if he feels comfortable. And in doing the work with either the park tractor or running the mini excavator and then working with the highway department to get the best choice for material there. When we looked at the site, we could do it sooner rather than later if we relocate one camper. And that would, so that would be the minimum of that packaway. The biggest thing I think we potentially run into longer wait is that if we have a really rainy fall, then we're gonna just keep having to push it back. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm happy to attend the next park committee meeting. If we want Daryl over from hospital and if then we provide some additional feedback, I'm sure he'd be happy to as well.
So I guess you did find a crushed pipe.
Yes, there was a drain tile that was crushed.
So it was not perforated.
It was not. It was solid, but a coiled. Very similar to. It was just a solid drain tile, not a perforated drain tile there. Whether it's we were able to dig up the crushed part and put a splice in there, so it didn't.
Okay, you did that already.
Yes, that part's been completed. The water that was in the pipe had no odor when we cleared the crushed area, so it's most likely part of a drainage component. Jason was able to provide some background on where some of the drain tiles had gone when the road was raised down there. So that's kind of putting all the information together, looking at pictures, talking with an engineer that's been volunteering a little bit to help with it, and it's just kind of where everything. We've had some different opinions throughout the process, but that's kind of where everything led to, and I think the clincher is, we were all expecting to see that died at one point, but that when that septic system dye gets to where it's going, it's real obvious, and that with the lack of odors, and even if it's it indicates the septic system is performing as it should be, and not a failure.
I'll let you keep going. Sorry about that. I just
No,
figured
that's okay. That's
Jason
okay.
had some professional input on that. I thought was worthy.
Yes. Tree purchasing deadline, we're looking to purchase some more trees. It's a buy one, get one, so if we got 6 trees.
Got one, so if we got 6 trees.
We'll have 6 more trees
We'll
for you
have
guys.
6 more trees for you guys.
And the deadline for that is September 12th. So we're gonna need, to be approved to purchase those.
I think we could, when we can pass a resolution to it, we should be able to take that out of the contractual line and maybe the trees. So.
Yeah, you're not talking.
Yeah, it's gonna run into between 790 and
They're big trees, but
depending on if we can't get the trees we first ordered because they're out of those trees, we have to order something else. They may go a little higher, so I was trying to figure between $790 and $900 for
So if you're
to get 12 trees. 6 of them will go to Met Park for them to put in. We'll put in 6 in Swift Park.
and this is a state state.
Yeah, it's a
correct?
state. Yeah, it's called the Tree Power Program, and it just is a way to encourage municipalities to plant more trees for carbon.
Reduction.
Yeah, thank you. And for carbon sequestration, big word for me. Yeah, so it has to do with, I guess it's an annual program, and it's through one particular nursery that is supplying the trees, large nursery.
What kind of trees were you on?
We are going to attempt to get Allegheny serviceberry, eastern redbud, and flowering dogwood. And if we can't get those, my next choice is with Karen's husband John's help was the downy raspberry, black belt. And I chose basswood too. It's a nice tree and it'll do well there. Get some variety of trees. So anyway, we have a lot of options of trees if we can't get our first choices. And they're gonna be inch and a half in diameter, and they're gonna be bald and burlap. I've asked Will Smith for an idea. He could come and auger and bring us some compost, the way he did this spring. Will Jennings. Why do I say Smith?
Will Smith, he's the actor.
Oh yeah, I love him. Yeah, so, but he hasn't gotten back to me. Last year, it was $50 a hole for the trees, for the ones that he dug for us, so.
The reason we're looking for somebody to help us with planting down there in particular is with the
Stony, bony.
stone soil down there. It's
Soils.
really hard, especially when it's dry like this, to dig much of a hole.
Yeah,
We want to dig a real hole, not just.
and Mecklenburg folks have good resources for tree planting, so. We will get the trees to the park.
So as long
They all
as
have to be delivered to one spot. They won't divide up a delivery, so.
as long as the purchase is under $1,000, we don't need board approval. So we should move forward before we can specify, you know,
But if it's,
they keep the, we should be able to keep the selection under $950. And
but
that-
with a $50 per hole, then it's over 1,000.
Yeah, but that's
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 a
a
separate
separate service.
That's a separate.
Great.
Yeah, and we
Charge.
can, when we know better, like, because we don't, it says they will be delivered sometime in the fall. They don't specify when. So we'll have another board meeting probably before they're delivered to talk about if we need to look at cost that way, but like you said.
And once again, we're significantly under the at $50
Yeah.
a hole.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
get those trees ordered since tomorrow's the 12th, right?
September.
Today.
They
September.
got
Oh,
'em.
September. Okay.
They got 'em on.
I was like, boy, you're cutting that
Days
close.
to talk.
No.
They got them on, they're all right.
But
Disregard that comment.
apparently the ones here that we have picked out can be popular, so it's possible we'll have to. I mean, I was going to work with you and or Maureen on what the order will actually be
Okay.
and stuff, but.
All right.
Yeah.
For one, it's always a woman, right?
Talk about winter storage for seasonal campers in the overflow parking lot. Last year, I think we had it at $200 per camper. You know, they could only leave just the camper, no anything like that.
No boats, motorcycles, picnic
Yeah,
tables.
no boats, no nothing.
This came up, I think some people were asking you about it.
Are you getting questions from
Um,
current campers about it?
I haven't recently, but, it's
Maureen
been
thought
coming.
she thought she was.
I mean,
She said she was. That's why I was thinking we gotta talk about it. more
Last
because
year, we had agreed to do that, and there was a limit, I think, on the number of campers we had space for. Does that sound familiar, or am I making that up?
Yeah, well, it was first come, first served.
I think
When
that-
once it was full, it was full.
no one took us up on it, but I think the question is if we do end up doing the full barn, then the campers might be in the way.
That's
Yeah, I
fair.
was thinking I'd like to keep that space open for
Okay.
that if we
Yeah.
actually get to that in the winter time.
That's a good point.
Storage, I mean, staging everything and, so, but I lean towards not offering it this year. And,
No,
with that.
and revisit it next year.
well, yeah, if we get a lot of pushback on it, we can revisit it and
But that's
Yeah.
reasonable if we're planning a renovation. We
if we're
made
hoping
them
for.
move everything when we did the water system, and other times when we've done construction, so it's a reasonable request.
So I would move that we not allow winter storage anywhere in the park, right? Is that a good way to put it? For 2025, 26 season.
Everybody agrees?
Second that.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments about that? Hearing none, all in favor of not allowing over winter storage for the 25-26 winter season? Aye. Right, anybody opposed? Motion carries. Have we had any more takers on the firewood permit?
No,
No?
we figured we better start talking about it now since firewood's coming up in September and October and we were kind of behind last year. So the one thing we did is we took no commercial, just keep off of the firewood permit. We agreed on that 2 months ago. But Rebecca had some other idea. What was it?
Oh, well, I was just thinking if there was someone who dealt with firewood or has a log truck that can load the wood and is interested in some of these logs that are still good, is it possible as a kind of a, I don't know, to me, the word, it's sort of a stewardship thing where you get, someone gets something and the entity that's giving it to them also gets something for it. And so what we would get is a reduction of the log pile, but not actually charge the person who's bringing their equipment in, loading them up, taking them away. And maybe an incentive for someone who wants to have some firewood logs and do what they want with them. But I'm not sure if a town municipality can do that. It's sort of like a swapping sort of thing, but
I know,
it might get a good incentive for somebody who thinks they like all those old oak logs.
we can offer trade, we've done it with the campground. We just have to place a value on the logs versus the value of them coming and carting it away. We have to show that they're comparable value. I mean, I don't know, I mean, that's something we could do that, we just, that, I'll have to double check, but that was my understanding when we checked about, trading, campsites for work on the website a couple years ago. That was the thing, it was supposed to be able to show that they were comparable values.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be exact.
We have
But,
to kind
you
of
know.
show what to us is the value of having an empty or more space in that area
Yeah, well, I
for
think
stuff, and
you know,
those things are finally gone and not just
looking
being used.
at the value of how much it would cost to have somebody just come in and cut it up and take it away, that should be a fairly straightforward thing to find the value for.
Yeah.
I mean, even Will, I work with, he should be able to give us a price that if he were to come in and cut it up and take it away.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's a starting point.
Okay.
All right, so we need to do some more research, but yes, I agree. I think it's good that we're talking about this now because it would be nice to get that pile gone or reduced.
Mhm. I got some points off of the firewood permit from when we first put it out there last year, but it's been pretty slim this.
Doesn't get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to, you know, when, I know you've been doing the social media posting, but when you have a slow day or something, get that back in circulation.
Firewood,
You know, firewood's,
Yeah.
the season's coming, it's not that far away, unfortunately.
It felt far away.
But yeah, it did. All right. Oh, refunds.
Almost done. James DeFibo, $78.50. That's his full refund minus his $30 non-refundable cancellation fee. He was within the policy. Same with Dave DeRosier. And then the bottom one, John Garagno, he's 15 to 29 days from arrival date, so he only gets a 50% refund, which is the $107.50. Matthew Holbach, he's a hip camper that we had. He called and wanted to cancel because of the algae blooms at the swim beach. That's kind of a you guys call. I don't really know what to do with that.
Well, does it follow their policy, the refund policy? That's what I would ask myself.
It is not spelled out in our refund policy. I'm somewhat
It's weather related.
Yeah, it's weather related and we don't have weather.
Well, it's on the, I mean,
We don't have
on
weather.
Camp Spot anyway, not Camp, but Camp Spot is actually this thing called sensible weather, and the customer can, it's an insurance, like, you know, like the airline insurance, it's, you pay an extra $6 or whatever, if you sign up for that, and then you get all your money back. But, I mean, it's pretty, I've never heard of a campground that gives refunds for weather-related issues. It's, I mean, pretty standardly known. So it's not something that's in your control. So anyway.
And when was it supposed to come in?
Oh, just this past weekend or so, maybe the weekend before.
Must have been the week before, because that's when we had the algae.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a reservation and he was supposed to be coming to the park, but apparently he didn't come. And instead he's asked for a refund because we had some algae bloom activity there.
And the algae bloom's totally out of his control too.
Yeah.
You know, if they come to be able to enjoy the lake, you
Right.
can't.
So we should be asked by the entire campground to give the money back.
It's kind of, to me, it's kind of the same, oh, they look at the weather Friday night and see it's gonna be storming all weekend, then they want a refund because they don't want to go camping in the rain, and I don't, you know, but it's, to
So,
me,
and
it's the same thing.
I mean, I don't know what it was officially at our public health department beach, but people were swimming in the beach the next day, and this camping wasn't until a few days later on the weekend. This was like on a Tuesday that it
Right.
canceled. And the weekend they was canceling before, but people were already swimming, and the pads had already left. by the time.
Technically, they were gone by the time.
By his
his
actual reservation.
showed up,
Well, I think that just
so.
answers itself. If it was gone and we were back open by the time his reservation was for.
Yeah, it's just more of a, dude, what, we don't do cancellations for weather-related events, and then we also know that he didn't,
What's the one?
when he was there, we didn't have that.
If someone cancels within 1 to 15 days, I say the 15 to 20, if someone does that, is there, within 15 days, we're not do any refund? Is that the normal?
14 days.
Or 14 days?
Yeah, and he was technically within that time period.
Sounds
So,
like
Yeah, so
She was a hip camp, so it'd be a little trickier to refund.
I don't think that really even plays into it. I think between the fact that we were actually open and he essentially canceled within that window of non-refund. To me, it's not a. It's pretty quick, but
Right, okay.
What about the other S?
The shock, so that's a credit dispute. Instead of going through me to get the refund, they went to their credit card company and asked for the refund from the credit card company. So the credit card company went ahead and gave them the $85. I mailed a dispute to them just the other day to dispute to make it $42.50, which would be the actual amount that they should have been refunded, not a full $85. So,
What if they already got it from their credit card company, what does that mean for us?
We're out the entire 85.
So when a customer, when you complain to the credit card company, they, by law, as far as I understand it, will give you the credit back. Then they go to the business and then they try to get the money from the business. Because the credit card company is now out $85. So what would happen, so Mallory went through the dispute process with the credit card company, which is pretty standard. You just send proof of the policy and proof of the exchange. And then what should ultimately happen is the credit card company would reimburse us $42.50. Because that's what the customer was owed back.
so this isn't really a case of us authorizing a refund. It's we're hopeful that we will get a refund.
Well, I mean, the refund was not authorized. Well, actually, right, because the $85 is not out us, it's the credit card company. So, yeah, they don't have any.
We're not looking to give this man a 4250 because he's already gotten
85.
credit from his credit card company.
No.
We're looking for.
What, no, this is what happens. I'm trying to remember what's happened to other business. So what happened is his credit card company, so he disputed, put in a dispute with his credit card company. They give him $85 back. Then they contact us and ask, were we supposed to give this $85 back? If we don't respond within 10 days, which we did, then by default, they go to our credit card company and they get the $85.50 from our credit card company. So the money will get withdrawn from our credit card company if, or it already has, right? So what we're doing is we're asking for back from the credit card company for $42.50 back. But yeah, we still have to do the resolution for $85.50, whatever it is. Yeah.
85, because the money's gone whether we like it or not.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
But it sounds like we're paying him. We're
Yeah,
the
but
ones
we shouldn't be putting out any more money. If it's already been taken back from our bank account, we can't get back any more money.
Right,
You-
so,
It's,
We're hopeful, we have to pass the resolution because the money's gone. We have to pass a resolution explaining where the money went. In a best case scenario, we'll get the $42.50 back from the credit card company and he will have what he should have gotten if he'd gone through the proper procedure. Does that make sense?
right, but if you're gonna do any kind of a resolution on that particular thing, you need to do it a single resolution,
Separate, yeah.
particularly to that, and very detailed. You need to write it very detailed about the situation. Because I think that money's already been taken
Yes, I
back
think it
from
has
our
been.
bank
I
account.
think it has been.
So, they weren't entitled to the full 85 based on our policy, but the credit card company got in the middle of it and took it. So you can't really authorize. There really isn't anything for you to authorize. You have an
Authorize the
explanation for what
dispute,
happened
the
to
dispute
it,
credit
but
card company.
you're stuck.
We could recognize it. It would be in record where that money went. Wouldn't be an authorization. It would be.
Well, but you have the documentation, you have the credit card deposit, you have the fact, you have on your, your notice or whatever you get
The
that
dispute.
the dispute
So
that
we
backs
have-
it up, and that's what you keep in your accounting records.
Okay.
There isn't really anything for you to, you can't really,
We haven't authorized it. We can't authorize it.
you
because-
can't authorize something that's already been taken
We
away.
haven't authorized it.
You
We
can't,
can't
I mean,
authorize it.
It's already been taken away.
You can just,
I mean,
keep note in all of your
You can
accounting
just
records that it
keep
wasn't
note in all
on,
your accounting
the
records
refund
that it
was
wasn't
never
on.
authorized.
The refund was never
because it
authorized because it didn't,
The person filed a dispute with the credit card company
company
rather than,
asking us for a refund.
so it's not the same process. It's because it's already gone.
and then, at least in my experience, you'll have to keep a watch out for a credit of $42.50 because some credit card companies will send a letter and others won't. They'll just deposit the money and get
Right,
paid.
so we watch the bank account for a transaction that gives us back that half they weren't entitled to.
Actually, it's not gonna be in the bank account, it's gonna be the credit card point. It's gonna be the card point, statement. That you'll just see $42.50 appear on there and you're like, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what it is. All right, so here's the thing, the money comes in, the credit card transaction, the money comes into the bank account, correct? Because we don't get a check from Cardinal.
Yeah, it comes in.
The money
Okay,
comes into
okay.
our bank account.
Okay.
When somebody files a dispute with, they did it backwards way.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have gone to the credit card company and said, I dispute this charge. They went to their credit card company and said, I dispute this charge, and their credit card company put it through as a dispute and took the money away. So that if there's a transaction on your bank account where $85 came in and $85 went out, if you get $42.50 of that back through the dispute we filed that he wasn't entitled to the whole 85, then good, you're 4250 ahead. Otherwise, you're just out the entire 85. It makes it a
Mess.
it's complicated, but you just need to document it.
So you'll write
There
out
really isn't anything fairly.
fairly, write out specifically what happened, so everything can be traced.
Technically, we didn't lose the $85, we just took it back.
We didn't ever get it. Yeah.
didn't steal $85 from the town.
Because they never came, so they didn't take any services from us. It just went about the refund in an inappropriate way.
Right.
Wait till more people find out about that.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is that once they get the documentation, we will get the money back.
All right,
It just takes a while.
I would like to move forward and make a motion to refund James DeFabio for $78.50, David DeRosier for $367.25, and John Bryan for $107.50.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further questions about those three refunds? They're pretty clear, I think. Ones that did it the proper way. Okay, here, no further questions. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
Good luck with the 4250.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get it, that's plus. If you don't,
So the next thing on here is we are finally seeing some progress and movement for the office building grant. And as part of that, we need to create an advisory committee. You're on it as park manager. I'll be on it as supervisor. I'm hoping at least one of our current park committee members would be on it. Yeah. Jessica, you're welcome to be on this, but I know with you retiring in a few months, if we wanted somebody else that might be on here long enough to see this through to completion, if they'd be interested in doing it, and it's.
And saying Jess don't want to see it through, she wants to be on
I'm
there.
just wondering if I know, I mean, because I think I probably thought about this more than everyone else.
Well,
So
let's
I'm wondering,
let's
it might
get
have
you
some
on there.
valuable things to add.
Let's keep you on there then for the time being, and I think when we did the LWRP, the advisory board had some public. But I have to double check.
Yeah, I'd like to, at
this is
least,
a public
yeah.
member.
Just have all of the brains run and go to name. Both ways.
All right, so I'm gonna list us, and I'm gonna see if either Jason Bond or Jason S would be like to be involved in it too.
I sat in a lot on the original one.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe, that's why I put your name and said that, and I know
Well, as a
Jason.
code guy, it's probably.
he's gonna be involved whether we want
function
to.
Anyway, he's gonna be involved.
And I know from talking with Jason Bond, he's thought about it a lot too, so. There's our initial advisory committee, and I'll make sure that that meets the requirements. The next thing, we have talked about this, and I'd like to move forward with doing it, and I'd actually kind of like to do it, at least create it for Met Park as well. Creating a dedicated repair reserve line for the parks. The repair reserve line would secure the money for repairs to each park. Fortunately, we have a strong friends of in Met, but who knows, 10 years from now, if they're still there, and it falls upon the town to make repairs to improve infrastructure. If we start building repair reserve now, we can do it in a manner that hopefully the taxpayers never really hit hard by doing so. The repair reserve line is specific to each park, and it's also specific to repairs that are not routine maintenance. You know, we can't go around and replace leaky faucets and light bulbs and stuff like that for that repair reserve. It's really designed for if we need to put a new roof, or we need to replace we need to replace the septic tank, something like that. That's what we're building toward in a gradual way. We can fund it two ways. We can tax for it, which I'm not a huge fan of doing right now because which hasn't been brought up, but the park this year has generated more money than it ever has in the past. Generating more money than the park, the expense of the park. And we're at the point where we can take some of that money that the park generates and puts it into the repair reserve. We can start building a nest egg for the repair reserve without taxing for it, which I think is the best option.
That'd be the funding for both the Mech Park.
Mech Park, it's a little different, but I'm also thinking with Mech Park, we might just start taxing it something like $100 or $200 annually until they have a revenue source. The one thing is they don't have a revenue source to fund themselves. So
They have less to repair too, so.
they have less to repair
Yeah.
too. So-
It's still in a reserve fund, but it's smaller.
Exactly. And since everything's brand new, hopefully to be further down the line before the repairs are necessary. You don't need to fund them right now. You just want to get them created moving forward because we've been talking about it for a while. And we can pass them by simple resolution because they're repair reserves. They're not, when we take the money out, it is subject to permissive referendum. But by creating them, it does not require any type of referendum. We can do it by a simple board resolution.
You didn't mention nothing about the city, Bishop Park. Jonathan is listening, you get a phone call.
At this time, I was not planning to create one for Perry City Park.
There shouldn't be anything much needed there, you know. Anyway, other
Share a
than,
picnic table.
We don't own the land, so.
Yeah.
right, we don't own the land, and there shouldn't be much there needed that isn't a normal maintenance.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, speaking of which, a really quick aside, our sign is going to be delivered for Perry City
Either tomorrow or Thursday.
It's coming here because we're installing it.
It's
Yes.
coming, yes,
Yeah.
and because we authorized up to a $400 expense, it's coming from Eastern Metal, and Eastern Metal was putting sales tax on it, and they wanted Jonathan to pay for it in advance of it being delivered. So I called Eastern Metal and said, but wait a minute,
We're the ones buying it.
town is paying for it, therefore it's tax exempt. And if you could switch that from Jonathan's name to the town's name, can you just send us a bill? And the guy said, yes. So we'll get billed for it and pay for it next month. But he will deliver it this week.
Did you make a resolution?
No, I have not.
Oh.
I was waiting for somebody.
I thought you were gonna.
Okay, I will make a resolution to create a repair reserve line for Smith Memorial Park. A repair reserve line for the park.
You're doing
So
something.
you're doing it separate.
I would think we should do
Yeah, we
it separate.
I'll second that.
I know, I was just running that through my head.
Okay, so we're
I
doing-
seen his wheels were
The
spinning.
suspense.
It's not smoke.
Yeah, so
Surplus.
let's do the first one and then we'll do Mac as well. So
I'll second that motion.
we have a first and a second. Any further questions or comments?
Yeah.
Do we have a number there again?
Initially, if we want to fund that, that would be a separate resolution.
You have to create the
We
reserve.
have to create the
We're
You have to
creating- we're
create-
creating a line.
You're just creating the
Okay.
reserve.
Gotcha.
Once you create the reserve, you can fund it
at any board
at
meeting.
any
Okay.
point in time. We used to have a Smith Park repair.
Then we gave up on the park and we decided.
Which we
Yeah, we
will
want-
do that budget season.
A certain supervisor decided it wasn't necessary to have that reserve on. So yes, and you can then, what we used to do at the end of the year, we appropriated a certain amount of whatever those excess revenues were above budget. So we calculated in if there were any line items that went over budget, those numbers were calculated in whatever was left when you decided to put in the reserve funds. So you can fund it at the end of the year.
We have a better idea of
With
How
a
much
better
you could
idea of how
glean
much there
over the
actually is
Exactly.
in excess revenues above what was expended in the budget.
because even if we put money in it tonight after we created it. We can't spend it till we do the budget processing.
We could spend it, but we'd have to,
You said,
doing it at the end of the year is better because if something comes up now, their money's readily available and we can spend it
Yeah,
either from fund balance or from any of those lines.
okay.
It's sort of tied up when we put it into the reserve fund. It's minimally, we can't spend it for 30 days because it's subject to permissive referendum.
so it has to be advertised.
So we have to
Expenditure
advertise it.
purpose for
We're
it.
gonna spend $3,000 to replace the window in bathroom from this, and we'd have to wait before we could expend it. So doing it later on, if we have a surprise expense, we can just spend it.
Okay.
Aye.
So all, if there's no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Second.
And we're gonna do a second one for Mecklenburg.
I'll second that motion.
All right, I guess I'm making the motion to create a repair reserve for Mecklenburg Pond Community Park. I have no,
Second that.
okay. Mike and Jess.
Oh, wait.
No, you made.
I made the resolution, so Mike seconded it. Sorry. You were throwing me off, Jess.
Jess has thirded it.
That's why I don't normally make the resolutions. All right, we have a first and a second. Any questions about this one for Mecklenburg Park? Here we
What's the
go.
line number gonna be?
I
I
will
don't
get
know,
back
it's
to you
a
on that.
reserve fund, I don't know that you.
There
do
is,
it.
yeah, there's some, it will
It's
have a
not-
line number, I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember what those are.
Aye.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that is what we have for Smith Park.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now they're just like, "Fuck, let me go home, people.
Now, I have a question. Did we ever get the commercial boat launch check?
The second one, no,
All right,
but I haven't seen it either.
Should probably call him.
yeah. We had an issue where we had
Installer.
granted a commercial boat launch permit for 1 month, and they were still launching things in month 2, so
So maybe they've stopped because they realized.
we were paying attention.
No, we were paying attention.
Yeah. I'll call them again.
All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mia, you're here to represent?
Yes, that's on Melissa tonight.
Do you mind, just so we can get on camera? Oh, yeah, we can turn it. Yeah.
First off, a Walking Bridge update. We're still pricing out material costs for the 2 bridges that we're putting at the creek crossings. One of the bridges, they're both gonna be 6 feet wide, one's gonna be 24 feet long, and the other is 28 feet. We have to do footers and pricing that all out. It's no cost to the town. It's all funded by the fundraisers that we do as the Friends of Mac Park. So that's exciting. Permanent bid billing and update. We're moving forward with Macintosh builders in the fall. All of the costs will be paid for by the Friends of Mac Park. It's gonna be large enough to fit 6 6-foot long picnic tables. And it will have a concrete base, so it'll be a permanent structure. We're not moving forward with anything until Rob Cassetti, who's helping with the plan, is designing it currently. And then the design will be brought, we'll go through all the appropriate steps for any round of yeah, oh yeah, so this is the plug for Oktoberfest, October 11th. All of this amazing stuff that's happening at the park is funded through our fundraising efforts. Oktoberfest and the Tulip Trot are the 2 major ones. So October 11th is the date for this year's Oktoberfest, beginning at 11. So tell your friends, come out, join us. It'll be a good time.
And then we also, at the meeting, we couldn't get to discuss the, kind of a, dedication ceremony or a ceremony for.
Yeah, we're talking about the ribbon cutting.
Yeah,
That's
ribbon
still-
cutting.
That's still kind of in discussion because
Oh, okay.
people There are vendors at Oktoberfest, and we're kind of like, we're thinking it through of is that the best to pull everybody from the fire permit to the park, ribbon cutting, away from potentially the vendors that are trying to sell stuff and they're paying to be there. So we're open for feedback, but like, we're brainstorming maybe at the next committee meeting, we can talk more about it. But like, maybe in the evening, or maybe first off, the 11 o'clock is the ribbon cutting, and then, or something. I think it's a great idea to do it the same day.
Or make the ribbon cutting 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Yes.
First thing before the whole operation gets
Yes,
going.
good call.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thank you to all the people who sponsored, big sponsors for the
Heck yeah,
park and.
that's a great idea. Do it
Yeah,
before.
do it
the sale.
right before everything
Yes.
starts up at the firehouse.
Might
That's
get
an
people
awesome
to
You might
come
idea.
get people to get coming to the,
Heck yeah. I dig it. Did they do an update to the grassroots pavilion was brought? Was that updated at the last town board meeting? No?
We knew it was under
We knew it was
construction.
coming, but
It was there, it looks great, and it's already brought like more people to that space. When we were there, looking at the trail, weed eating, doing things like that, this group of like 8 people came, and this woman was just bringing her family from out of town because she loves grassroots and wanted to show off, and then they really admired our beautiful space. The town. Oh yeah, so then the last thing is, Smith Park's purchasing flowering trees, and we, as the Friends of Mecklenburg Community Park, will pay for half of that. So we need to know, I guess it's for you guys to vote or something, we need to know how you guys will accept the money.
As a donation.
As a donation, so we don't have to, there's no like vote or anything, we would just do a donation.
We can get you when we have confirmation of what trees are available that we are ordering. We can give you how much, we can show you the invoice. And
Fantastic, okay, and then we, as the Friends of Mac, would just give the donation to.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm excited about the Eastern Red Bus. Hopefully they're.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're just chugging away. If you guys haven't been out, it's looking so good. There's like a local gentleman who's doing he planted the grass and put the mulch down, the boulders are there. It's just looking really, really nice.
It
It's
is.
really nice.
Yeah. Pictures look good.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for the update.
So down in that pavilion too, they, besides building the pavilion grassroots, they also built those picnic table and benches that were there.
Yeah.
And it included that in part of it, so there's even a little bit of extra there.
Yeah, I
that
think
we didn't expect.
I know. I think they may have used the excess maybe, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
To-
yeah,
to
we didn't
build-
expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Jason? it's
All
all you.
right. All right, I'll start with my report here. So for, sorry for the typo, though, it was attached in July. It was,
Even I missed that.
See, that's what I was saying before.
My brain's fried.
So for July, we issued 20 new permits. It was one of the busiest months in terms of revenue and permits since I've been here anyways. We closed out 7 permits. Of the permits issued, 3 were electric upgrades, 3 were garages, 6 miscellaneous, 1 roof, 1 pool, 1 shed, 4 single-family homes, and 1 solar project. The issued building permit construction value was just over $2,150,000. The completed permit construction value was just over $1,050,000. And the collected fees were $5,850. So that's it for my report there. So about 2 months ago, Justin got a call about potential shared service agreement with Elmira Heights. They called and said that, we're wondering if we could provide some short-term support. Initially, Justin and I were like, absolutely, we want to help any of the communities in the region with stuff. So we did receive a draft shared service agreement about a week ago. I think Justin and I need to spend a little bit more time reviewing it. It was a bit more of a commitment than what they had really.
What they had portrayed to us, it was, it almost looked like they thought this was going to be a long-term solution. And so one of the very first things that Jason and I are going to be pushing back with is making it a 3-month agreement that maybe we can renew once to try to get some. You try to light fire under them to get somebody hired permanently. And this would be, the initial commitment was for 8 hours a week. And they have added a bunch of things to that too, which we weren't excited about. So interestingly enough, they reached out. I put them in touch with Rob. Rob reached out to me. Rob is the attorney for the town, if people don't know. Rob reached out to me and asked if this was a legitimate interest. Is this something that we talked about? And I said, yes, can you work with them to create a shared services agreement? Well, a week or so later, we got a shared services agreement. And Rob had not been involved in any way, shape, or form. So there are some things that were missing that we were concerned about. So we are.
One of the, I won't get too into the nitty gritty, but like one of the things, like, I meet regularly with Staboa, which there's a lot of part-time code enforcement officers they're looking for full-time, and I'm like trying to prod the heights along, but give me that job, or job description, job posting, so I can get it shared on our listserv, which has an outreach of like 5 counties and 5 counties plus, and I'm not entirely convinced that the job's actually been posted yet. So
they're much bigger town than we are.
it's a
village of Elmira
Sure,
Heights.
but it's
It's
still,
population-wise, it's probably comparable with the town of Hector. It's right kind of on the city limits. So there's some real dense areas, and that's the other thing. We don't have the resources to provide property maintenance support to them, because it's just that would eat up 40 of my hours a week to provide that there. The things that Justin and I talked about, we can provide residential building permit support. That's primarily what I do here. It's not a huge learning curve for me to provide a little bit of support. So anyways, that's the update on that. Justin and I are communicating, and we'll be talking more with Rob, but at this point, the agreement was a little bit too tight for us to introduce to the board at this point, because I don't feel like we could provide what this agreement was asking for.
And then the Village of Burdett, I know you've spoken with them.
Yes.
And I've spoken with them, but I'll let you start and I can fill in from my side what I.
So it was actually the same day that the Heights Buster guy, so did the town of Montour and the Village of Burdett. Right.
Is it national resign from your code enforcement job day?
Apparently, it's like it was. My phone was ringing off the hook.
Crazy.
Right now, there is a huge vacuum in code enforcement. A lot of the state, it has like half their positions are open because people are retiring, and it's not the most, people. I love my job.
Yeah, he says that every morning. I love my job.
But I really do, and I really want to support our neighboring communities too when they're in the crunch. But that said, like the Village of Burdett, I mean that makes so much sense for us to even potentially permanently take over code enforcement there if they want the town to. There's going to the first of the year. There's going to be some short-term rental laws that take effect through the state, where it's going to increase the number of fire inspections that we have potentially. And if we have we need to be looking forward to opportunities that we might be able to grow this department with just what we, and that, in taking on code enforcement for the village for that would just aid in that. I'm not saying that that'll have to happen the first of the year, but that's, looking long range, we should.
Speaking with the village of Burdett, they have a very small amount of money that they budget for code enforcement monthly. And what they have been doing is providing a stipend to their previous individual. Moving forward with us, if we do this, they would probably pay us that for adjacent services. But separate from that, they would compensate Jason for fire inspections. And one thing that I spoke with them about that we didn't bring up, so I'm not sure if they spoke to you about it, is they still have this idea that I shouldn't say this. They want to create, or they'd like Jason's assistance with creating a sort of a manual. How does a code enforcement officer work? Code enforcement officer, provides, permits, in charge of permits and enforcing the permit process. They don't have anything right now. They just had somebody that was able to do inspections and would go out and do them randomly. So they'd like some structure that they're hoping that you could provide how to for the future code enforcement in the village.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It ties in a lot with what I've been really working on the last couple of years, like refining the complaint process and refining floodplain management, because things like that, half the code enforcement officers in the county don't even know that they're a floodplain administrator. And talking with Judy Cherry of Stokes, like the census data is not getting filled out monthly, with the exception of us and maybe one other municipality in the county, and that's what drives all our grant opportunities and stuff. If nobody's inputting that data, that's not happening. So we've been meeting, trying to get some county meetings going, and the county's been offering some support with code enforcement through emergency management and Schuyler County Watershed. So I think that makes perfect sense, that maybe it's not just that it becomes more of a county-wide manual that we can share with other municipalities, because there's a number of things like whether it's our building permits go to the assessor's office. Sometimes it's a year later that the assessor's office is getting building permits in certain municipalities. So
Or they don't get them at all.
Exactly. So I think I can really help
They don't get them at all.
that, whether we do long-term code enforcement or just a temporary thing with that.
So much like the other one, we're not in position with the shared services. We need to get that hammered out. But I wanted to bring this up so that hopefully next board meeting, we have these contracts and it's not new to you. It's something we can just vote on and move forward. So, not to cut you short.
Well, that's I get talking too much sometimes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we interrupt you and we'll discuss what we need to do.
Perfect. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate your effort getting here today. Josh is out on medical leave, and he did prepare water report. One of the couple items on here, the meter reading system, we are trying hard to get. There's an area around Hector Falls that there's some dead zones, and so talking with the meter company, there is we're going to need to add some additional repeaters, which we believe we already have an inventory. The well project, we're still waiting for the approval for the Department of Health, which I'll be reaching out to them shortly to find out where this approval is, because it's been a couple of months. They should be able to look at the numbers and give us our approval. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. I will be reaching out to the fence company because it was my understanding it was going to be fixed by now. My last communication to them And they have not. Jane?
Okay. Thanks for code enforcement. We took in a lot of money in July. We took in a total of $6,611. Actually, $5,956 was code enforcement, but $106 of that was for a permit that was issued in July that we didn't collect the money, or in June, we didn't collect the monies until July. So there's a little, that just $106 difference between Jason's report and mine. So $6,507.16 went to the town supervisor. $32.34 went to DEC decals for hunting or fishing licenses. Animal population control for dogs at $49, and the state for preparing licenses at $10. So that basically covers all of that. And just as a side note, 2025-2026 hunting licenses are now available. They started, they released them for sale on August 1st. The actual season is September 1st to August 31st. So we've been pretty busy this last 10 days issuing hunting and fishing licenses.
Most people buy them online or in person?
Most of them buy them in person. We have a few that do them online, and then one that normally came in person tried to do it online today, and he'll probably be in the next couple of days to get the tags that he could not get processed online. So I just tell him, you have an issue, come to the people that know how to do it. But anyway, so that's basically what's happening out there. For water district, I did not have it in your packet online because I didn't have this report done until this morning because I couldn't balance it yesterday afternoon. So water billing totaled on the water end of it $71,395.33. The reserve fund was billed out at $5,463.16, making the total billing in the month of July $76,858.49. We collected water payments of $36,241.97. Reserve fund, what will get actually deposited in the reserve fund is $2,654.70. We had new connections billed out in the billing portion of it total $1,800. We've actually collected $1,600 of that. So total monies coming in is $40,496.67, leaving an open balance in water's billing program of $65,533.24. And we've gotten a lot of payments in the last 10 days because the due date's the 15th of August. So, that's where I'm at. I don't think I have anything else to report. Next up is Donna's.
The agenda says April reports, but I assume that's not.
No, no, your agenda should say July, not April. That's all right. When I posted everything on the website last night, I ended up posting April attachments, and I just kicked everything out and redid it. So I don't know why April keeps popping up, but it does.
All right. First thing I want to talk about is dog sheltering. Just a couple of weeks ago, all of the supervisors at a council of governments were all talking about how well the dog sheltering agreement was going. And there were a couple members of the public there that were opposed to the change, I would say, in dog sheltering. And suddenly the county and Southern Tier Animal Control was inspected. And the shelter The county got dinged and the shelter did not pass their inspection. But in the shelter's case and in the county's case, almost all of it was in paperwork issues. There is one issue that the shelter's in process of repairing. 2 years ago, he had the floor in the dog shelter epoxied, and it lasted about 6 months, and it cracked, and the company came back out and repaired it, and it was cracking again because there's cracks in the epoxy. It can't pass inspection because it's considered impossible to clean properly because things can get down in the cracks and cause problems.
What do you put, the floor you put the radiant heating in?
That I don't know. That's a good question. What he has done is, or is going to be doing, is he can polish the concrete and seal it. And he's gone through already, the inspectors have approved this process, and that is in the works as we speak. And the rest of it, one of the biggest issues is we're supposed to have a local law. All the towns are going through this right now. This week, in fact, supposed to have a local law that states how much the charges are. None of us have that, and he has different agreements with each.
It's not in our current. I was gonna
We
look
didn't,
at it
we
today.
didn't, I don't know if we have a local law, but we didn't update it with the charges that he has.
All right, we have, because we have
In the contract.
a dog local law, but I don't know, must be we never updated the the impoundment fees redemption.
It doesn't matter if we have it in the contract or not, if we have to have it as a local law.
Okay.
So,
And I didn't know that.
no, well, none of us did, including him. Just real quick, we have had 7 dogs collected this year. And because their owners have picked them up in that 5-day window, we have not been charged. The owners have had to pay for all the fees. So we have not paid any money toward it. And with the exception of Catherine, all the dogs have been redeemed by, I was adopted or transferred. And those were village, but they have significantly, for the amount of money that we were facing, the $20,000+ that they were expecting us to pay, we to date have had no charges to the town. So how convenient. The attorney for our town is the same attorney for all the towns involved in this, so he prepared a new local law, which is pretty straightforward. But because it is a local law, we have to have a public hearing on it.
All right, so you flipped from one thing to another.
I'm still.
The shelter agreement.
Well, I'm still, I've been talking about the local law first. I apologize. Oh, okay. I started talking about the local law and said that. All
right.
I went out of order. I apologize. We have to set a date for a public hearing because we have to set a date for a public hearing because so.
We can do it in the next board meeting.
That would.
We can do it in the next board meeting.
That's all we're really getting at for the local law. It has to say that $50 for the first 24 hours of impound of each dog, and then $25 for every subsequent 24-hour period or portion thereof such. We just have to have the impoundment needs in our local law. So I'd like to make a motion that we have a public hearing to adopt local law.
Is it 2?
Nope, that's just one. So
I think it's gonna be local law one.
number one.
No, didn't we pass the first of the year? Don't we pass one on January 3rd? I think at our beginning of the year.
I'll look it up because
I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the year meeting, we had the first local law.
Well, we can look it up, but we want to have the public
we
hearing.
had one we never did adopt, so I have to go back and look. It's either one or it's 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will look it up.
And this public hearing will be on September 9th. I've made a motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll
Third the motion.
First, since there's no further comments, all in favor of holding this on September 9th?
Aye.
Okay. The second thing, we are going to, we needed some one thing that we had to do is we had to add the impound fees into the shelter contract. So this is an abbreviated shelter contract. The other thing, all of the town supervisors have come together and have met on this issue. And after the discussions last year, we're happy with the services, and we feel that we should return to the previous system where we gave 70% of the licensing fees to Southern Tier Animal Control. Right now, that money's being collected and it's not being dispersed. Whether he brought in 30 dogs, whether he brings in any dogs or not, he has to maintain the building, he has to maintain the vehicles that he uses. Having a baseline contribution from the communities that he serves, we feel is important. And we want to maintain this positive relationship with him. So in reality, it's not a significant sum of money. I think Jane and I figured it out, and it was about 18, well, through the date that I went to the meeting with the other supervisors, it was about $1,800 that we'd be paying him.
And there'll be more with whatever July was.
Yeah.
I think I gave you a number through June.
Yeah, I think you did. But I mean, this is money that we're collecting. It's not money that taxpayers paying extra. This is money that's coming out of the dog licensing, which is geared for this purpose. So those are the two changes. Really, is that it now states the redemption fees, and it says that we will be paying him 70% of license fee revenue. Otherwise, it's the same contract.
Do we keep the other 30%?
The other 30% goes to the state, right?
No,
No?
there's a small portion that goes to the state, that goes to the spay and neuter fund that's not included in there. So it's 70% of the $9 and the $17, because the $1 and the $3 automatically goes to the state for the spay and neuter fund. So what we have left is 30% of that $9 and $10 or $9 and $17 fees, which for us, we have to print and mail all of the dog license renewal forms, plus provide the tags, and plus our labor or whatever. So that 30% covers what we have to do in-house. But I don't think it covers it all. It's close. But.
So should we change that ratio a little bit?
I'm not opposed to that, but I'd like to save that potentially for next year's contract with them.
Huh?
And
So I'll make a motion for the supervisor to sign the Southern Tier Animal Control contract with the updated terms that were just discussed. Can we do that?
Yep.
I'll second the motion, and then I'll carry the discussion to say, does seem sort of in bad faith though to give them one rate this year and reduce it next year. Like if we suspect we're not covering our costs, I'm just saying maybe we should present, we keep 35% or 40% and give him, you know what I'm saying? Like give him, and then the next year you're like, actually.
Any year. Take it back.
Yeah, it's just like
fine, but right
we
now
didn't
it's
receive
fine.
anything last year, and if we don't think we're covering our costs, I'm just throwing it out there. He was content last year with 0%, so it seems sort of bad faith to give him 70% this year, and then next year we'll give him 60%.
This contract only covers till the end of this year.
Right.
I'm just saying. Once you sign a contract with them, and then next year we're going to go
I
contract.
understand.
I understand what you're saying.
If our expenses aren't covered by that 30%, it would be a very minimal amount that isn't covered.
Were all the other towns doing 70%?
Yes.
Yes, everybody
That's why you're
wants
not
to do, and I'm not opposed to that as your town clerk.
Aye.
If there are no further questions or comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Oh, that's not me. This is kind of like a jerk thing to do.
Well,
Well, yeah, I think you're fine with the way it is.
Okay, we have two more things. Feasibility study payment approval.
Yes, it was good.
Yeah, that's under miscellaneous
Oh,
correspondence.
okay.
The Village of Burdette, I didn't realize, I'm glad this made it on here because I wanted to bring it up. The Village of Burdette had, as the lead agency in our feasibility study. As Mr. James pointed out, we had paid $35,000 toward the TAP. We have a grant for $25,000. That's it. The issue with the grant is it must be paid up front. We must present a cash check, and then it'll be reimbursed. Unfortunately, the village of Burdette feels that they cannot, they were unaware of this. They thought that we would submit the bill directly and that the engineering firm would be paid directly from the state. That's not the way the grants work. And the village of Burdette is looking for us to front the money for them. It will be 100% refunded. And I said I would bring it to the board. And I also made the one exception being, before we would do this, we would have a shared services or a legal agreement between the village and the town saying that we were liable. We would receive the full funding amount that came back as reimbursement for covering the expense.
But you don't have it.
We do not have yet, so I'm not ready to sign that yet.
What did Rob say about that?
Rob said he can draw something up. I'm also checking with New York State to make sure that we can do that since we're not the lead. We're named in it, but we're not the lead organization. So I have a call in to the Department of State that is responsible for the grant to make sure that that'll work and that there's not some technicality that if we did that, we'd both get big.
Makes sense.
So
that's just an information.
that's an informational.
Sorry, the village don't have any money to up front.
Oh no, I'm a little
They
concerned.
they spend it on fire trucks.
Yeah.
Well, they actually don't pay much for that.
Okay.
So that's just a point so that we will hopefully also have shared services, a binding legal agreement for us to provide the compensation and be
I
reimbursed.
don't have a problem doing that. I don't have to make sure.
Yeah, that's the way I felt. If they don't have the money to cover this bill, we don't want to be left stuck with it if,
Justin, I'm sorry, I had two questions.
Yes.
One, is there any progress on the EV chargers at Smith Park? I mean, I haven't heard from NYSERDA that was
I have
I assume that's what we're waiting for, so.
a message, the last message that I had with the gentleman, that everything was moving forward. They were waiting on NICEAG,
Uh-huh,
like everybody does. They're waiting for NICEAG.
uh-huh, okay. And then my second question was, we're coming against some deadlines with our grants for solar panels at the dump site. So I had hoped that we could approve tonight the next step for moving forward, but I guess I'm just curious if we could discuss what's happening with that.
We have to put together, well, basically, I think as a board, we need to agree that that's the site we want to place them. And then it's a matter of putting together a bid packet and moving forward from there.
Yeah, and I sent, proposed bid, packet forward, but I see you sent something else today, but I didn't.
Yeah, I sent one that I'm hoping for the two bid packets we're going to be putting together here, which hopefully we'll have by the next board meeting ready to, we have to pick dates, et cetera. But it was one that we did for the bid on the meters. And it was just, I shared that for you as a model that we can hopefully transform.
The one I sent was from. The one I sent was from, our contact through the, Chris Sard. The fellow who consults us, he said that's what they use on other municipalities.
Really, because that seemed like it was missing a lot. Jane and I were looking at it and it felt like.
I did
That
I didn't see anything other than what, your email that had like 3 sentences.
There was an attachment.
I
But
didn't
that-
have an attachment.
That was the model he said that other communities had used.
Right, but I didn't have an attachment to my email.
Huh.
So, because all it was there were like 4 sentences or something, and there just isn't enough information there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
let me-
I'll make sure you get the attachment.
I gotta
'cause that's,
revisit that.
that's what he gave me as the example that other towns had used, so. I just would hate for us to lose the money and
Yeah,
not build anything with the grant we got, so we're coming up against some deadlines here.
Like very quickly and stuff.
Well, we were supposed to, I mean, basically, it would have been good to approve it tonight. I did ask for an extension, but just, I thought that we'd be able to do it tonight. I sent it in last week and just things haven't moved forward. So we'll have to work on that for next month.
Because what was sent wasn't the bid specification. There wasn't any information there. I'm looking for it. I just don't know. how far back it was in my email.
Should be more than a week for 10 days, right?
Oh, no, I think it was a little more than
A
that.
little more than that, that's why I'm looking.
I think it was like 2.5 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah. Cause with that, there was an attachment, I'm sorry, there, it is an attachment, but the attachment is like 4 sentences. It'll open. Yeah, it's request for proposals.
Yeah, there's more
But if
pages.
there's,
No, scroll down. I mean, there's more pages. It's like 4 or 5 pages.
okay, when I opened it up before, that didn't open up,
Okay.
so that's on me, that,
It was loading at slow snail
Yeah.
pace.
so maybe, yeah, maybe it would have been okay. I didn't see this before. Because when I opened it up, all there
I
was
only
was
sent it to
that
so
one
you guys
page.
could put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Could you forward that to me? Just so I was-
They sent Justin's, I mean, I'll send this one to you, but Justin sent something else today, but
I know,
didn't
I
get a
just
chance.
had 2 examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unfortunately, this,
Since we're engineers.
I didn't see all the other pages. When
When
I
we were
opened it up
looking at,
before,
we were
when
standing
it
in the
came
office
in, I
looking at
only
it, it
had
was
one
just like the
page.
introduction and said, it gave the address.
I
and
was
that was it.
confused. I was like, I think I have everything.
Well, yeah, now it's open up, but when I opened it up before, I said, there isn't enough here. There needs to be a non-exclusive bidding certificate with it. There needs to be a section about that.
Well, Justin, if we could meet to move
Yes.
forward on that, because I'd like to approve it next month, whatever we need, so that we can
Okay.
move forward.
What you really need is you need to tell them not to get anybody in case you need a plan or something.
I would like to,
Well, I guess the approval to put out the bid.
yeah,
Yeah, or ask for the RFP or whatever the wording is. Yeah,
I would like to make a motion that we enter executive session to discuss a potential sale or acquisition of property and to discuss a issue of pending litigation. And I'd also like to propose that we include Jane in this conversation.
1 second for motion.
I'd say 15 minutes.
All right.
We have a first.
Leaving it on.
I mean, I often.
We have first and a second, all in favor? All
Aye.
right, all right.
I'm still streaming to YouTube, so anyone left in the room? You're right. Bye. See you Sunday? Yeah, it's gonna come in, yeah. Okay, love it.
Like the truth is,
Hanging in there.
I'm exhausted.
I'm sure that.
Oh, shoot, sorry, I didn't see you.
Both. Can we do both?
Motion to return?
I second the motion.
Okay, first and second, all in favor of returning from executive session?
Aye.
Aye. All right, before we depart, I would like to make a motion to authorize the supervisor to negotiate on behalf of the board to negotiate an acceptable bargaining unit with the Teamsters Union in regards to the highway department.
A second.
To negotiate an acceptable.
An acceptable bargaining unit definition with the Teamsters Union in regards to the highway department.
Bargaining unit definition. Okay, I think I got it.
Anthony seconded it.
Anthony seconded it. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right, one last thing, and then we will be done for the evening. Underneath miscellaneous information, we have a letter introducing the new National Forest District Ranger, Travis Riley. Nice guy. He came in and met with me, and just he wants to be engaged with the community. He's actually staying at Smith Park for the summer.
Oh, kidding.
And loves it. Thinks we have a wonderful place down there. But you know, he's quite interested in being engaged and has invited all or any of us to reach out to him at any time.
I'm gonna call him when we get done with this meeting.
Hey,
No,
wasn't
He's
Smith
at
Park
site
the most-
15 if you want
most-
to go.
Yeah, just one person.
Best park in the state?
Yeah, we got that nice write up.
Yeah, pretty cool. I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
All right.
Oh,